Everyone could attest that I have stayed away from issues of Edo State in recent times. It has become very chaotic, and seemingly I just left it and focused on that other issues. But I couldn't ignore. I tried my best to ignore the Oshiomhole AP saga. I just left it because I don't know why a lot of leaders are not just tone deaf. They have also become dumb when issues about citizens come to bear. Adam Shumole has been seated as a former comrade and who has been in the National Assembly for a while. He's heard a lot of Nigerians complain of the ill treatment and unprofessionalism of Nigerian airlines, and they've kept quiet largely. And even if you don't need to be in the committee on aviation to be able to call your friends, lobby, sort of find resolutions. But as it got to you now, you find these solutions. It means that we are continually elected people who do not have the interests of the people at heart. I don't need to be in your constituency first for you to be able to look at how well to ameliorate my plight and making my journey around Nigeria easy. It should be the goal, unfortunately. Right. So then the issue of Right Honorable Marcos, the former Speaker for the Edo State House of Assembly and who is now House of Rep member, I saw all of the issues with him and with the state government and all of that. And that has led me to concluding that Governor Okpebholo, His Excellency, is not by any way trying to lose the award of the most ignorant and arrogant governor in Nigeria. And it's not because I like Marcos. I think Marcos is quite too young for him to be this dumb, respectfully, in the National Assembly. No matter what you are doing for your constituency, sir, I expected that you should also put up some advocacy for the Nigerian youth. You are a young person. Unfortunately, quota system, federal character, a lot of tribal politics allow a lot of you get advantages and privileges to quality places and privileged platforms. We would have expected that you also begin to look out for the general good of young people. But you cannot be this young, Marcus, and keep quiet on issues that concern to young people. You've kept mute. And right now, your news is everywhere. They want to demolish your house. Everybody is saying, oh, you are not talking about it. We should not allow this to happen. And then I ask, what has Marcus done to look beyond his constituency to say what bees, what interest, what passion, what has he said to help the larger majority of Nigerian youth to be able to find succor or find some level of solace in all of these sinking ship? But again, they focus on their own biddings and they want to have their own life. And then these privileges are not available for people like Reverend Olu Martins and a couple of other young guys, again, particularly from Edo State, that has contributed immensely, that their voices and hands have been seen visibly in societal renaissance, on growth and development, values, somehow. But because, again, our politics do not allow people like that to get privileges on platforms or at platforms that they could be able to use their voice, people like Marcus get there. So Marcus should take up the mantle and be responsible. However, despite that, it is not to allow that the current crop of ignorant and arrogant sycophants that are surrounding Governor Okpebholo should tell him that one of the greatest sins anybody can commit against me is that I can accept that you are ignorant, I can accept that you are arrogant, but to have a marriage of both, I detest it at all costs. And Governor Okpebholo is not only ignorant, is ultimately arrogant. And you want to demolish a guy, sir. So I've gone to do research. I've read the anti-kidnapping law, the amended one. I've read the anti-cultism law that the House of Assembly passed into law in January. And I continue to look at what exactly is the governor trying to do. Because in that law, you've criminalized cultism, whatever name or guise that it is being called. You also criminalize people that sponsor traditional ruler, pastors, civil servants, public office holders, and you want to criminalize even private property owners. So say if you have a property that they use for cultism and kidnapping activities, it will be demolished. However, two very important things that's why I am pained and nobody is telling Okpebholo to open his eyes, read more, and stop all of this. Beyond all of these two musketeers that are going out shouting like Hypma, like bulldogs that should be tamed, the rest of the guys that carry paper and barrel, what do they know? Of course, I've been told that if you speak Esan, you have a space in government. As long as, no matter how smart you are, as long as you are not from Esan, don't come close. If no matter how dull you are, as long as you are from Esan, then you have a chance in the government. Respectfully, and that's respectfully. But of course, with what is happening around, I cannot even deny the fact that the man has surrounded himself with tribal people, and he particularly look out for people that do not have sense to be able to walk around him. Because I will ask you, you criminalized courtism in the state, and then you said that if you are found wanting as a courtist, you will be dealt with. There are prison terms up to about 21 years. But in the criminalization of the property, to say a property that is being used for court-related activities, the property can be seized, can be taken as proceeds of crime, or can be demolished. All of these are supposed to be through a litigation, a legal process. Suddenly, we'll see that Governor Okpebholo has now aggregated and abrogated and abrogated all powers of being executive, legislature, and judiciary. Same with his elder brother and father Tinubu in the central government. That none of this process. You say there's a public statement issued, and then you say that somebody had court-related activities in his house, and suddenly you are marking it for demolition. Whereas it is very clear that it's upon conviction. That's what the law says. Same thing that happened the last time when you went to demolish a house, and you said the house had it was reported that that one I can never forget. The person that was arrested has not been investigated, was still in Lagos. Okpebholo led the squad to go and demolish the house. Since we told him to stop that rubbish, I'm sure he stopped it now, because he's supposed to go to court. The law that you signed, I don't know if you signed or you are aware, is that upon conviction. Same thing with this anti-courtism law. So who has convicted him? And then if you say the man, if there is no undertone to this particular push that you are doing now, why do you want to demolish a person's property as the forgetting the initial sections of the particular law that says that whoever is involved in court-related activities? I would have expected you to also be prosecuting the honorable member for being a courtist. So it should go hand in hand, right? It should go side by side, because you cannot say the man had court-related activities in his house and then you want to demolish his property and then you are ignoring him. So is it that you know that he's not a courtist, or what is happening? Of course, politics is playing here, and then when you talk, people say that Obaseki demolished Kabaka's. Neither Obaseki nor Kabaka gave me any benefit or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that all of this paid off politicalization. It just goes to show that when a government did not come to power with the full understanding of what to do, they look for the most minute, the most destructive thing to focus on, to use to fund their ego, to say they are working. There's so much I need to do. I've made comments here commending your efforts in restoring peace and giving us a safer Edo with the anti-courtism push. But these politics that you are playing around it now, because this is not the first, not the second, not the third of houses that are being marked, and then suddenly begin to hear that they are having conversations. What was all that for? Please focus. I know that your party as a whole is built around propaganda, but I expected you to know that the times that we are in is a very delicate time and you should focus. Again, you need to prove to me that you're not the most ignorant and arrogant governor in Nigeria at the moment, because as it stands just now, you are. Have a blessed day. Catch you another time. Bye for now.